A teenager who killed 4 people and injured 9 others received no jail time this week.
I'm Sheriff Gary Long, and on prom night, hundreds of students across the United States will be killed or seriously injured in alcohol-related accidents.
All Butts County units respond to a motor vehicle accident at Highway 16 West at Shallow Road. 2 vehicles, NPA, 1 overturned.
Look at the 2 brains. One is much smaller than the other. Guess which one is the alcoholic's brain? Not the normal size one, the little one. So CAT scans are done of people that are alcoholics as they get older. All the time, their brain is smaller.
All right, well, show us what we're looking at here.
So here's a brain, all right, that's been cut in half. But look at this brain. This one, as opposed to this one, already has a hole in it.
So this brain is smaller.
Much
it
smaller.
has holes in it.
Absolutely.
And it is basically like a muscle atrophying. This brain is shrinking up.
Absolutely. Every
Which is
day,
why I
every
said
drink.
it's kind of unfair for me to try to debate with you because your brain is shrinking up, and it isn't even through growing yet. Seriously, your brain grows until you're 25.
Next, the liver, all right? The liver gets irritated. Alcohol sedates and irritates. It sedates your brain, it irritates your liver every single time. All right, a normal liver, if you look at it, looks kind of pinkish.
So this is an alcoholic liver.
Correct.
And that is very likely what binge drinking is doing to his liver at this point.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
According to the National Institution of Drug and Alcohol Abuse, researchers consistently show that people tend to drink the heaviest in their late teens and early 20s. 51% of drivers ages 21 through 24 who had died in car-related accidents tested positive in alcohol consumption. The University of Rochester Medical Center states that the rational part of the brain isn't fully developed until 25 years of age.
When a young person drinks, they are doing serious damage to their brains. Teens' brains are not fully developed until they are 25 years old. Exposing the brain to alcohol during this time can interrupt critical brain development.
The other side of this argument believes that the drinking age should be lowered to 18 years old. Since this is the age of adulthood, people believe that adults should have the right to make their own decisions on alcohol consumption. According to healthresearchfunding.org, studies show that a lower drinking age would eliminate the thrill of drinking and reduce or eliminate unsafe driving. Studies also show that there are fewer drunk driving accidents in countries with the regulated lower drinking age. Although these are valid arguments, lowering the drinking age would also result in easier access for high school students to obtain alcohol as young as 14 years old.
What benefits do you see to raising the drinking age to 25?
Perhaps access to alcohol. I would say that if the drinking age is lowered to 18, you're going to see an increase in alcohol use amongst high school aged kids, just like we've seen an increase in the prevalence of marijuana within our schools since you could get a prescription for marijuana at 18 years old.
In the 1970s, 29 states lowered the drinking age to 18. As a result, studies showed an increase in car accidents with a lowered minimum drinking age. The government issued the National Minimum Drinking Age Act of 1984. As a result, a majority of states raised their drinking age, with an exception of a few states, such as South Dakota, who lost 10% of national highway funds. In the court case South Dakota versus Dole, a woman named Elizabeth challenged the conditional highway funding. However, the Supreme Court disagreed, saying that Congress can indirectly encourage uniformity among the states through spending power.
So it's been 30 years today, as of today's date, actually, when the bill was signed or it became the law. Has it made a difference?
A big difference. You know, we know for fact that between 600 and 900 lives have been saved each year by the minimum drinking age law. That's a lot of classrooms of kids, tens of thousands.
Yeah.
When you talk about the positive effects of the higher uniform drinking age law on reducing other health and community issues, crime, violence, early onset of alcoholism, and the sort of the downward spiral of associated issues that affect people's lives. So it's about, and it has been always been about saving lives. It's also been about quality of life. And so there have been tremendous benefits across the spectrum here that have helped feed into not only safer communities, but healthier communities.
In addition to raising the drinking age, programs must also be set up to better educate the youth on the dangers of alcohol consumption. As of right now, anti-abuse programs such as DARE focus on drug abuse and prevention. But young kids are not well educated on the long-term effects of alcohol. With more programs instilled to teach middle schoolers, high schoolers, and college students of the dangers of alcohol, the youth will be better educated on its harmful effects. A combination of education and the raised drinking age will allow students to finish school without the threat of alcohol.
The Washington State University president is joining in the fight to stop alcohol abuse on campus after a student died over the weekend.
An autopsy report showed the teen died from respiratory failure from acute alcohol poisoning. Parents need to talk about the dangers of alcohol abuse with their kids sooner rather than later.
Early concern, early intervention, early warning is what can prevent a lot of tragedy later on down the road.
According to the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse, approximately 2,000 college students die every year from alcohol.
For the economic sides of things, the demand for alcohol would decrease from the raised drinking age, resulting in a decrease in revenue from alcoholic purchases, which would lead to a surplus in the supply of alcohol. However, the cost of rehabilitation facilities and hospital visits due to the alcohol-related incidents far outweigh the sales of alcohol from the ages of 18 to 24 years old.
The prices for rehabilitation can be as little as walking into an AA meeting, which is free, to thousands and thousands of dollars to a high-end treatment center. It always changes, and it is real, and it's a legitimate concern. One of the things that I was told when I first got sober is, how much did I spend on using? Not to say that cost isn't important, but the truth is, the commitment to sobriety, it is free. A person, literally, you can walk into a 12-step meeting and it costs you $1 in the basket, and if you don't have that, they don't ask you to leave. If you get into rehab with clinical components and sober housing, of course there's going to be a cost, because the hiring the professionals to help people stay sober, it does cost money. And the price of using, for most people, it could be their lives, and that's the ultimate price.
It's been more than 2 decades since anyone under the age of 21 has been able to legally drink alcohol in the United States.
In an effort to reduce highway traffic fatalities among young adults, in 1984, Congress passed the Uniform Drinking Age Act, requiring states to either raise the drinking age to 21 or risk losing billions of dollars in federal highway funding. Some states balked, but eventually all bowed to the pressure and upped the legal age. Now, groups like Mothers Against Drunk Driving, which would not talk on camera, say the numbers from the National Institutes of Health show that raising the age lowered the car crash death toll among young adults. Others agree.
Ryan, do you think adult beverages should be for older people or younger people, and why?
Older people, because if a younger kid drinks it, they could get hurt.
And why do you think that is important?
Because if a kid gets hurt, it might damage their brain and lungs.